how did Charlie start? Well, that's a really good question. We have to go back a little way. When we came back from overseas and we were in Auckland, we made a decision that we wanted to move out of Auckland and into the countryside. And Charlie at that time was an industrial chemist, and I worked in HR. And so we searched around and we looked for land, and we loved up Whangarei, Nangaroo, but we knew that I couldn't still work and live that far up. So we eventually came down to here because we could still afford it here. If we went any further south from here, we couldn't afford it. Found the block of land, bought the block of land, and then 2 years after buying it, we came up. And that year we launched our boat that we've been building. We had Emma, our first child, and we built our house all in that year. And the worst thing was trying to find 3 names. So that's how it sort of started. And then of course, you know, another kid later and all the rest of it, and it was getting time for me to actually give up work down in Auckland. And so and we'd always been interested in ice cream. But originally we were interested in full fat American style ice cream. And at the same time we were building this place and thinking about what we were going to do, we went on a big trip overseas to Europe and to take the kids overseas so that they could understand that it's a big world, lots of people, they talk lots of different languages and all that sort of things. And one of the places we spent a lot of time in was Italy, and we loved Italy and we loved the gelato, particularly when you went to Cartona and you had the nocciola. And that was it. That was the turning point. I said, oh no, Charlie, I'm sorry, when we go back you have to make me nocciola. And so when we came back, we were very fortunate. We were very fortunate because, I mean, we'd just been making ice cream in little bench top ice cream machines, you know, we'd just been experimenting. And suddenly we had a very good friend who moved it was in Shanghai, and he sourced us the actual tuna. So we started with one pasteuriser and one tuna, and he came back. He was a food technologist, and he came back from holiday and helped us develop the first lot of products. And also one of our suppliers was very good. He was a chef and he was really interested in what we were doing, and so he was also a great help. So we learnt a lot in Italy from a lady whose house we stayed at, and she took us to all the best gelato shops in the area. So we learnt what good gelato sorbetto tasted like, and when we came back we had lots of technical assistance. And Charlie, being a paint chemist, it's not that far removed really. And so that's how we started. We started, like, honestly, we started with 5 flavours. I think we had 2 cabinets or 1, but most of the cabinet didn't have any ice cream in. And now we've got over 50 flavours, and we've extended the shop one more time, and we've put the courtyard in, and so we still grow the strawberries. So as you saw this morning, we still pick strawberries and we process. We don't have any wastage because we sell the strawberries, and anything extra goes into the sorbetto and the gelato. And we grow table grapes, and so we have those in autumn, and we grow lemons and limes, and so we try as much as possible to put all of that natural stuff in. And blueberries are locally grown, etc. So we developed it, and then at the same time I got cancer, and so that was it. I just gave up work straight away, and luckily the business had developed to the point where we could say, yes, we can actually live off our 10 acres, which was really exciting because that was the original concept, like 23 years ago, was the original concept was that we could somehow live off 10 acres, which is not an easy thing to do. But we've been really lucky. The business has been incredibly successful, and the community is incredibly supportive. Even in winter, they will come out on a weekend and have an ice cream. And yeah, now it's great. Every year we try and develop something else. So we've got the wood-fired pizzas now for over summer. Next year I keep saying we're not going to do anything different. We're not going to do anything new. Yeah, so that's really like the brief history of Charlie's Gelato. Is that what you needed? I really enjoy, I suppose the most basic thing I enjoy about it is actually doing something which I think actually adds real value to the community and to individuals. And so it's not like God, can I say this on? It's not like being a lawyer or something like that, which sometimes doesn't actually really add value to a community. So I feel that we provide like a really good product, a really healthy, lovely product, and that families can actually come here and enjoy that product together, and people of all ages can come. And I love it after school. I mean, you know what it's like. It's such a nice atmosphere. You know, the kids are screaming around and they're running up and down the vines and they get their little ice cream, and it's something that families can really. It's not expensive, you know, so that they can come and they can get a real treat and enjoy themselves as a family. And I like, for me, I suppose the best thing about it is that we can provide that to the community. Yeah, and that sounds a bit naff, but when I sort of peel away all the different layers, that's what's important. When we were in Greyland in Auckland, before Greyland was trendy. So I'll just let you know that. And so and from there, previously we'd been in London, so we went from London, we lived in Auckland, and so we were building a boat, and so a yacht, and so we needed somewhere where we could go sailing. I mean, and this is a absolutely stunning area for that. We've both, Charlie and I, have always been beach people as opposed to mountain people, and I mean, the beaches in this area are just world class. They are, I mean, Tawhanui, I mean, what a gem. We are so fortunate to have something so close to us. And so yeah, definitely the beaches, the countryside's lovely, you know, it's a little bit sort of Tuscany with its trees and its rolling hills and greenness. And when we first moved up, it was very country. You know, it was very rural, which was my upbringing. I was brought up in the countryside and always wanted that for my kids. I wanted them to be brought up in a small country school and have that connection with the land and other people. And so, I mean, it's changed a lot since then, but I think it's changed in good ways. Like, I really like the Matakana development because it's got a cinema. And so I can go to the movies now whenever I want. Rather than this major, oh my God, we've got to go to Whangapara and it's going to take 45 minutes and the kids, so it's like, I mean, and that's been good. I mean, it's a change. I mean, we still laugh because Matakana, when we arrived, was a timber yard and a pub and a garage, and it was a nothing. And now it's sort of got this Matakana brand around it, which is, it has its pluses and its minuses, I think. Jesse, our youngest, leaves at the end of this year, so we are faced next year with just Charlie and me, and we keep going, I don't know, that's going to be peculiar. What will we talk about? We'll have to get another dog, so we've got something to talk about, you know. Because you do, when you're a couple, when you've got kids, what you do, you go out to dinner. Finally, you get to go out to dinner by yourself, and what do? You talk about the kids, you know. So, God. So the two of us, we've bought actually a little bolt hole all the way up at Cooper's Beach, which we love and which is sort of our relaxation spot. So we will spend a lot more time in winters over there. I would still like to do lots of travel and that sort of thing. I think business-wise, no, we don't. I mean, we want the business to keep going and to keep being successful, and to do that you have to keep reinventing things a little bit. So there will be that sort of ticking over. But no huge, big plans. We're getting old, Craig. We're allowed to rest now.